So I've also set up a live stream on YouTube, and let's see if I can bring this comment up. All right. So this is the comment asked by Neil Krishnan. How do you select a framework for a project? Yeah, there is a bit of a delay, I think. I'm not sure which end it's on. So this question, how do you select a framework for a project, really sort of depends on the technology expertise of the team that you're working with. So someone who's more familiar in PHP would pick sort of PHP framework. Someone who's into the .NET side and for that sort of software will probably go on that sort of side. But really, it depends on the team and then the solution. So we have a preferred stack of things that we use for projects because we've become proficient in them and experienced. So when problem comes up, we can solve them quicker. We don't like jumping from framework to framework every single project because then you're starting from scratch all over again and you're losing the knowledge and experience that you've had in another framework moving forward. So, but what we do is we have some other ones that we have less experience in, but have worked with in the past. And those we then determine based on the outcome of the project and what sort of project it is. All right, do we build a WordPress thing and then add plugins into that as an off the shelf and some integrations rather than going full custom and using our template project that we use and build up from most times. So it sort of depends on the team and the project. I wouldn't say that depending on the solution would completely dictate what framework it is, unless it has to be specifically on a certain IoT device or has to be on an iPad Pro, for example. Then you've got no choice. But ideally, yeah, you want to use something that the team's proficient in, which will get things done quicker and easier and cost you less time and them effort, and then allows them to be able to solve problems quicker and deliver something better. Would be all I want to say. I'm not sure if Andrew has anything to add into that.
Well, yeah, I'll say basically, like you said, each team has their own proficiencies, and it can be open source technology, it can be more commercial Windows-based technology. Now, like you said, you might pick, like for example, React Native we work quite heavily with. We may pick React Native to deploy some applications, but if you're looking for something a little bit more just iOS specific, you might go down that track. So picking technology will be based on, there are pros and cons to all technology that you use. So .NET, there's pros and cons, Python, pros and cons. Everything has its pros and cons. So provided that you're working with a team that's proficient in the space, yeah, that's definitely something to look at. Other things, Anthony, you might want to discuss, like NoSQL and what that might mean, because that's another way you can look at it. There's obviously just your standard SQL database structure in terms of developments. And then there's other frameworks that you might develop on which for more speed and efficiency. Jump into that, Anthony, might be a good idea.
That's not going to work. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, thanks for that, Andrew. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this while listening at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a delay with what they're seeing and how I'm hearing you right next to me.
Nice. So can you hear me?
LinkedIn, you just finished talking now.
Oh, okay. That doesn't really matter. Just don't worry about looking at LinkedIn then.
That's when the comments come up from the people.
This is a comedy act. Love it.
All right. So yeah, we've got 8 people in here, but I'm not sure. No one else asking questions. Phil's just loving the reaction buttons and keeps pushing things out and through.
Thanks, Phil.
So the idea of this was just to be here for a certain amount of time and let everyone just jump on and ask any questions as they come through. So I'll still be here for the next, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, unless it keeps going with more people, and then we'll figure it out from there.
How about I ask you a couple of questions? So you obviously put a post out yesterday around how to pick a team. Now, you might pick a team on technology that was from Anil, but how else would you pick a team? What are some of the things that you might want to assess?
Well, picking a team, first thing I would say is if you can get along with the team, that'd be the first thing. So I'll put that above price or anything else, because unless you can get a relationship going with the team and working with them, then it doesn't matter how cheap it's going to be. You're not going to be able to get what you want. You're not going to be able to work with them well. Price is very hard to compare, especially when picking teams, because each team will give you a quote based on their thought process, their methodologies, their processes, and how they will do their own things. So just within our office, each person will give you a different quote based on how they would each do the thing, and everyone will do it differently.
Yep.
When we provide a quote to a client or an estimate, we collectively discuss that. So we can sort of cover that difference between everyone. And then we've worked with each other enough that we all have a similar foundation and knowledge about how to do things and where to move forward with things and what we can do.
Okay.
So comparing team against team really is like an apple versus oranges thing. You're not comparing the same thing at all. It's not a Granny Smith and Pink Lady. It's a Naval and a Granny Smith. They're completely different things, different beasts, different ways.
Yep.
So the outcome might be the same, but how they go about doing it will be different. And then that'll in fact determine how scalable it is, if it can actually in fact deliver that outcome. Because they might have had that outcome in mind, but they could have just made too many risk assumptions and has too many unknowns and too many risks, but they think this would work and they don't actually know it's going to work. Having a team, you've got that relationship and that trust in, I'd say first and foremost, leave price in the back of your mind, because if you want to do something, software's not a do it once and it's done type of thing. It's an ongoing process that never stops. So you might have a budget for a phase, but you have to be prepared to keep going on long term, I mean. So having a price as the first factor to determine who you're going to work with, I think is wrong. On top of that, you have to have trust in the team. You have to be able to show you things that they've done in the past. Whether they've done something similar to what you're after or not, I don't think matters, as long as they can show you that they can do things and solve problems when problems arise, or work on projects that are unknown and still deliver a solution. Because in the end, programming is just programming. It doesn't matter if you've learned the language or not, or have done something similar. It's just branching out, creating logic, putting that into code and having that executed. That's all it is at the end of the day. So as long as they can figure out how to solve problems and deliver solutions to things that have been difficult or unknown, then they shouldn't have a problem in your area.
Cool.
Kind of different if somebody who's done it in the past, they'll have a little bit more experience potentially, so they can solve those simple problems quicker where someone else couldn't, but they still be able to solve them.
You mentioned there around quote. Now, that's something around quoting. One of the things around our office is we have a lot of challenges with customers and clients trying to make projects way too big, and then they go fishing and looking for particular quotes on a large scale project. How do you approach that if someone comes to you to do that? What's your advice there?
So we used to be able to just give a quote on the spot or within a couple of hours to someone, and we stepped away from that because that is us putting up with too much risk from our end of the project. We don't know enough. There's not enough detail defined. We don't know anything about how it's meant to work, what it's meant to do, besides a top level thinking about everything. And then that ends up just delivering something that over a 6 to 12 month development, this is what it's going to be, and locks down everything. So we try and push people and educate them into the agile process, where be very agile at the front, understand how everything's going to work and what you need to do. And then from there, you can then fix your project to a certain degree and work on it in stages. So we try to go through that consulting process and make everything clear, have everything understood and transparent to the customer, so they know what they're going to get, when they're going to get, how they're going to get it as well, through engineering or after the process. And that's what we sort of come up with as DevReady, which seems to be resonating with most people these days, and they understand that there's a benefit in understanding and exploring everything big picture first, and then breaking it down to the smaller chunks, evaluating it, seeing what the ROI is, and making something out of that.
Yeah, in terms of on DevReady there, so the point of DevReady is all about getting some clarity in the project and getting some understanding around what are the key stakeholders actually need, want, desire, what are the challenges and problems that you're actually trying to solve here. Your customers, getting some, having a conversation with your customers, getting to understand them, their needs, what they're looking to deliver or get out of a solution as well. So generally, we can jump into projects way too early and start investing. So like you said, setting up that clarity in the start of the project, getting a good grip on what the product looks like, and then breaking it down into tiny little milestones is a good way to protect your interest as a customer, because then you're not investing $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 into a product. You might have started a minimal investment, 20, 30 grand, to get some insight as to what the product looks like and what it can be. So incremental chunks is probably a better way to look at a project, especially something that's big.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my equipment.
That's all right.
Okay, so now I can. Yeah, I just don't know if it's working. I can hear you in the phone properly now, as you're talking, not through a wall. What's Phil saying there? Actually communicate and then go alone on something. Phil, do you care to elaborate on that?
Where are you seeing questions in LinkedIn, yeah?
I'm not sure if he's listening anymore.
What was the question, Anth?
He said actually communicate and don't go alone on something.
If he's referring to what we were just chatting about, it's communicating through the process with our clients, or he might be talking about our live. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Could be the live thing. It's a bit hard. First one we've ever done.
It's interesting when you're talking and I'm talking. It's a bit challenging to know where we're at.
Yeah, that's because you've got to watch the stream that's actually coming out, I think.
Yeah, get it.
Okay, so I'm not sure if anyone else is jumping on board or not. I can see that this says there's 7 people. That's probably our whole office.
Yep.
Phil, yeah, I know there's a delay. Just not sure how much that delay is or why.
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover, man?
I'm not sure at the moment. I'll just see if anyone else jumps in. I'll go through a couple of my last posts and see if there's anything else I can sort of reference.
We just got out of a podcast around. So we recorded a podcast just this morning with Anth, and had a guest on talking about people and managing change. So that was quite interesting, looking at how technology can impact change, but it's not also just about the technology. So some good insights out of that. Is there something you want to share on that angle?
You need change.
You need change.
Yeah, the technology introduces change. It's all about having the culture and the team follow that and understand why and getting behind it. And you don't want to just lump it on them and have them fight whatever you're trying to do, because then that's not going to lead to anything. And you can't change the people and not introduce things and follow up on it. You have to go through on both avenues at the same time. And it's a long process, and it does evolve and change similar to the way development works. So just keep that in mind, that as you deploy the solution, you also have to keep your team and culture and everything has to sort of adapt with it, because it's going to make changes to the business processes, operations, people, and everything.
Yeah, and it's about communicating that through the organisation as to if you're looking to roll out some new technology and it's going to impact people, generally you want to communicate that across that whole gamut of what you're doing. So communicate about the why, the vision for the product, get your buy-in from your internal organisation to help you elaborate and actually build the product out. When you're building technology, the more people and opinions you can get into it will guide you in a better trajectory than if you try and build it in a silo, for example, and then try and push a piece of technology out at people once it's built. So a good example of that is in the past we worked with quite a large global company with their marketing team, and built some really good tech in terms of helping them communicate across their organizations. But what they didn't realize is that they were impacting a lot of operations and even financials departments, but they never really engaged with those key stakeholders. And then they had a lot of pushback and fought for some buy-in. So it becomes challenging. So understanding who you're impacting is really, really important, and getting clear on that, and then communicating through that process will alleviate some of those buy-in problems that you may have down the journey.
Yep.
Very, very good.
Cool. Yeah, just another thing I can touch on is from my video that I pushed out last week. It was titled "Next Big App. Would you like a business plan with that?" And that is just when you come up with an idea, don't just try and come up with a random price and go, "Yeah, if I build it, someone will use it," because it doesn't really work that way. Really put some effort into it. See if there's any competitors. Plan everything out. Understand all your costs, expenses, everything are going to be. And if you're coming up with a price, justify why someone would pay for that, what value you're giving them, and making sure it's covering your costs and actually generating some revenue and profit for you. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it, really.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of people that come up to us and just go, "Yep, I'm going to make an app and I'm going to charge $5 for it." Good luck. They
have to know who their customers are, right? So, and have some market research behind that. What is it? What problem they're trying to solve? So in the end, you're building technology. It's about a problem you're solving. I think people can get stuck in the trap of, all right, there's this new IoT thing that we should be using. There's AI. Let's get a jump on that technology and see what we can deliver. But Technology is just an enabler. It's really about the problem that you're trying to solve. Yes, with the technology, you might ask this some questions, so it's worth investigating new technology and new things. As then that will open up different questions and allow you to think about different problems that you may not have thought about. But yeah, still get back to the key problem that you're trying to solve.
Yeah, good point. It's always, yeah, have that focus in mind and then work towards that and understand everything, research it all, put a plan together like you would for any other business.
Yeah, correct. So,
Yeah,
very, very good.
yeah, just anyone else that's listening and is not commenting, just keep in mind an app doesn't cost what you think it's going to cost. Most people don't understand how much is actually involved in making something.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of people come up to us with an idea, size of Facebook, and go, "Yep, I've got a 20 grand budget and I want Facebook." That's another good luck to you moment. Then we're ready to walk out of the meeting room because that's just completely unrealistic, and they don't value what is going to come and what the app is going to be and how big it is.
Yeah, well,
But it's
it's
also
all about,
you're not understanding the industry and knowing what's involved and how everything works. There's always a lot more involved behind the scenes than what you see. Just because you see a button on the screen doesn't mean there hasn't been 3 days of work to make that button work and do what it's supposed to do when it's pressed in the back end.
yeah. So from that point, yeah, like you said, things are generally bigger than they seem, and they're more complex. So, if you're looking to jump into a dev project, if you have no sort of background or knowledge, maybe jump on, get an advisor that can guide you through that process. It's all well and good to go and just find a dev team and just hope for the best. But if you've never really planned a project, understand what the value is to the customers, what's important to develop first, because we can sometimes um, over plan our project where it becomes that much functionality and features that it's too difficult to deliver. So how do you prioritize those? That's really important. What's going to add the most value to the customers? There's a great little tool, value versus effort matrix. So if you're working with key stakeholders, you can look at what is the value to our customers, and then the effort angle, get involved with your developers or your advisors to help you understand the effort. So you can look at, all right, what are the quick wins? What are the things that we can do that's going to add quick value to our product and to our customers and be little effort? And then you'll get more of a clarity and understanding, all right, what is the more high value items that are going to take a lot of effort and they may be pushed back to a later stage of your project. So just think about breaking your functionality down into bite-sized chunks.
Yep, definitely.
Very, very good.
Cool. All right, I think I'll let this go for a few more minutes, hit 12 o'clock, and then we'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Next time I do one of these, we'll probably do it at a different time. Maybe 11:30 is just a shit time for people to jump on board and spend time talking to someone on the internet.
We've got no idea. This is the first time, so everyone that's watching this is the first ever live stream coming out of.
Yeah.
You just got access to a beta, so we thought we'd jump on and answer any questions. We haven't had a lot streamed through, so we're just having a general chat over here.
Yeah. Or at 12 o'clock, everyone will come in if they want to spend their lunch break talking to me. I'm not sure.
You never know, man.
So we'll just have to see. And then, yeah, next time we'll try to pick a better time, figure out when everyone has their first smoko break, maybe, or something. If anyone actually has smoko breaks anymore, I've got no idea. That's what we used to call them when we go and break our calls.
Yes. Long time ago now.
Yeah. Well, I've had 10 people jump on, sort of got my head around the tools and how this is working. So we'll do another one of these in a week or two. I'll try and make them a regular thing so we can help people. It's another way of being out there and giving you some assistance to everyone, hopefully providing some insights or help and helping someone along the path when they get stuck. If you've got any questions, just send me an email, DM, contact me anyway. You know how, and we're happy to help all the time.
Awesome. Thanks, Anth. Good test.
See you, Andrew. Cool. So I'll stay on for just a little bit more and I'll see if anyone else is going to come on board. That's confusing. So we've got 14 people now. I'm not sure who is that or what they're doing or how they're seeing this thing. So I'm happy to answer any questions if they come on board. I don't get much insights here or anything like that. So hard to say how this has gone. Yeah, so hopefully whoever's listening that we can provide some help and answer some questions or insights or any sort of news. Been doing this for about 12 years now at Aerion. Started straight out of university, so I was doing my honours degree, and in my final year, I started the business with Andrew, our previous business partner, and we have been going ever since then. So it'll be 12 years in March, and we've grown from just doing PHP websites all the way up to enterprise grade products, and we can sort of cover. We have a focus on digital transformation with providing value to customers through customer experience and through the onto the value chain, as well as process automation and digitalization. In doing that, that's our focus, but we can also cover sort of development from PHP. All those solutions that we focus in the digital transformation space normally cover a mobile app, a web system, and an API. All three, or two of the three, or just one. We do integrations with any of the APIs and existing platforms. So we don't just do everything off the shelf. Or custom develop, we can integrate with off the shelf, integrate with existing systems, create new front ends for back end platforms. And then, yeah, we sort of cover work from robotics. We've done robotic projects, IoT, apps, systems, e-commerce, integrations, payment modules, all different sort of stuff. So happy to help anyone and get them project. We do some IT advising, sort of like a CTO role for a company. So we're working currently with a startup out of Singapore who's brought us on board to be their CTO and technical advisor to help them get their startup and product developed and out into beta so they can get it out in the market. So that is coordinating with an overseas development team and trying to maintain the product, get features developed, help them with problems and queries because they're not as experienced as we are, and try and get the product out to a beta so they can get it tested, validated, and then presented in front of some people. So there's a few different things that we've got some experience in, as well as like Unity, 3D games. So that's where we're coming with a lot of knowledge on that one and helping them in Unity and 3D. If there's anything else you'd like to see, or let me know. Send me an email, DM on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever it may be, Facebook, our blog. We're going to add them into some questions for the next session, have a certain topic around it, and just get people to ask some questions and get some things prepared. So if anyone's listening, hope you have a good lunch. I'm just about to head off for lunch now, and have a great day.